What is up, diehards? Wes Monell in the building for AWOL Sports with Paul Durfee, Leo Holmes. All right. Well, that kind of leads us into we're talking about top players on top teams. Paul, you're looking at teams not in the finals right now. Who do you consider to be the best?
I mean, we talked a lot about the Bucks in the last couple slides, but so I gotta go with them. Obviously, if you're listening to what I said the last 10 minutes, then kind of makes sense that I'm picking the Bucks. But but the other teams on this list are, it's tough. If you're looking at the East, Brooklyn, they got so many issues that we already, know about, and the Heat, it just feels like, maybe they're a little shorthanded as far as talent wise. Like even when they're fully healthy, it just doesn't seem like they stack up on that end. And then the Sixers, if Harden's not right, then they don't belong on this list either. So yeah, I went with the Bucks, and then in the West, I had to go with the Suns because, even though they were in the finals last year and they had another great regular season this year, and it just doesn't seem like, the other teams in the West have any business being on there as far as like consistent wise, and just confidently thinking that they could be better than the Suns. So
do you think next season is strictly between the Warriors and Suns in the West?
I gotta throw the Clippers in there just because I know we talked about them, they're hurt a lot, but assuming they're healthy, they're gonna, if you have Paul George and Kawhi Leonard for a full season, and then if you count the pickups and the young players that took steps forward last year for them, they picked up Norman Powell in the regular season. Reggie Jackson played better. I think they got some shooters. I just feel like that's a team that could cause some issues in the West that could potentially knock off, those two teams. So,
Leo, who you got, man?
Man, let's not do that with the Clippers. I'm sorry, Paul, but I gotta go at that. The only team, let's run that list. So Paul George, Kawhi, who can they beat in the West in the postseason? 1 second. Yeah, Dallas. That's about right. The list is drawn out and it's over. They not beating nobody else. I'm tired of hearing. I hold them to a standard because I'm tired of hearing it. The greatest defensive wing combo since Jordan and Pippen, but you can't stop nobody. Luka looked like LeBron had a baby with Kareem that decided that Shaq looked cute, and we just gonna drop everything. I think a 40-point triple-double just sounds cute. I'm tired of hearing the Clippers. They just make me mad. In the West, Phoenix off of the list you have, I'd say don't disrespect Memphis and leave them off of it. I know my jaw take was definitely one that wasn't very popular.
That was part of the reason I kept him off his list, dude.
Hey, you still got to respect the thing. You've got the number 2 seed. You got a team that without their quote unquote best player wins 80% of their games. And outside of some knucklehead plays, as you young and dumb plays, hey, they might have beat Golden State. They were beating them by 55 points in a game. So let's not act like this team isn't one that should have some, respect on that name. In the East, Paul said it. We mentioned Milwaukee way too much to not give them credit now at this point when we're talking about non-finals teams. Brooklyn ain't going to do a damn thing till they do a damn thing. I'm tired of hearing it. Because a couple seasons ago, it was, let's go 3 seasons ago. Well, when Kyrie and KD both get here, it's going to be a problem. Oh, well, when Kyrie, KD, and James Harden get healthy, it's going to be a problem. Oh, well, when Ben Simmons, it's over. Stop it. Like every season is, well, when this happened, cool. So when I hit the lottery, I'm going to be a millionaire, okay? Can I start saying that to Sally Mae? Hey, when I hit the lottery, you're going to get paid. I'll pay the rest of that student loan, okay? Stop it. Like Brooklyn, I'm tired of hearing them. Miami, great team, but Paul mentioned it. Health. I mean, they're gritty. They do everything well, but it seems like every time that run comes, the injuries come right along with it. In the bubble, Bam gets hurt, Dragic gets hurt. This year, Lowry gets hurt, Tyler Hero gets hurt. It's just that thing of it. When it's time to play, y'all seem to be missing dudes. So sorry. Milwaukee's that team. Hey, next man up. They can do what it do.
Yeah, it's a clean sweep on the Bucks, man. I think that's pretty easy. All right. So who do you think can get to that level, that contending level first? The Clippers or the Nets, Leo? Because I know Paul just threw in the Clippers, but Paul also brushed on the Nets. So both of you, Clippers or Nets, if one were to get there, who gets there first?
As much as I just disrespected the hell of them, and I will continue to disrespect the hell out of them, we'll go to Nets, because at least they ain't got to deal with Steph and Bron and Memphis and Phoenix. Like, no offense to the East, but it's not the 90s East. It's not the 80s East where every team just looks like this ridiculous juggernaut where that top is that heavy.
Didn't we all just pick Eastern Conference duos and trios and all that?
We did, but when you look at them, look at the depths of that team. We picked duos and trios, but we talking about the depth of it. Most of them didn't have that item. Paul talked about Miami, like, well, hey, you got these couple of pieces, but then after that, what? You can only do so much with so many undrafted players. Like Gabe Vincent, hey, San Diego stand up. But if you putting your entire playoff career on Gabe Vincent, well, you got about as good of a chance of winning that as he has of getting some depth behind that braid hanging on his head. I'm sorry, dog. Them baby braids ain't gonna do it.
Paul, who gets there first, man?
Oh,
if they get there.
I just can't believe anything the Nets are doing. I feel like Kyrie's about to retire, maybe next year. Maybe he won't even play again. He just seems like he has other priorities. Ben Simmons, I don't even trust he'll take the court again ever. Then Durant's just going to be like, what the hell's going on? And then he's going to want to get out and he's going to want to leave. I just feel like that team's just headed for total disaster. I have a little bit more faith in the Clippers, not a ton. Obviously there's major health concerns. I'm not saying they're like, I feel like I had to mention them just because of the talent standpoint. Not that I necessarily believe in them, but if I had to pick one, I just feel like they, I don't know.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Even though it's weird to say, like, as far as like the mental, like they want to get there more than the Nets. I feel like they want it more, even though you could question Kawhi and Paul George's desire to like get to the next level. That's how bad I feel like the Nets are as far as like their mindset, and feel like that's the state of their team right now. So
Paul, pandemic P. That's all I got to tell you. Pandemic P.
Pandemic Kyrie.
I think if that happens, I think honestly, if it goes with what Paul was saying, the Nets will be happy. If Kyrie walks away or no longer is on the contract, that's $40 million that they have to attribute somewhere else. And if Ben Simmons happens to not play again, that's another about $40 million, $80 million that they have to be able to bring in talent.
Yeah, but they can't.
That wish.
Simmons has got like 4 more years left in his contract. They can't just dump him and that's a guaranteed money. They still got to pay him.
The Lakers just got done paying Luol Deng. You can stretch out a lot of contracts.
Yeah, they're still paying Luol Deng.
So. No, they done. This was the last year.
Okay.
They finally no longer paying him. They finally cleared that book.
Do any of you give Luka a chance at another Western Conference Finals in the next couple seasons?
Winning it or making it?
All right. Can Luka make the finals in the next couple of seasons?
No. I feel like they peaked. Unless they make some big acquisition to get like another big time player. I just feel like with that squad around him, he has to do too much carrying and, got to rely on Brunson and Dinwiddie, who can't always, like, especially when you get this deep in the playoffs and you're facing this caliber of teams, you can't rely on those guys. There's a reason Dinwiddie's been traded 50 times. It just, I don't know. It's just
They just didn't want to pay him in Bitcoin anymore, man.
Oh man. Ouch.